Hey guys, welcome back to the Gold Division Finals. Now in the finals we have Team SuperMegaSwagRocket on the blue side and Jookz Gaming over on the purple side. I'll be doing play-by-play today with Pyrotechnics as my color caster. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. A little tongue tying is good for the exercising of it.
It is. How was your cast with Trick earlier?
Dude, he was awesome. It was just an amazing time to get to cast with him. And actually, one of the teams that's in this game right now was one of the ones we were casting. Jookz Gaming making it all the way to the finals today. Very impressed with their performance so far.
They're doing super well, as you can tell. Now, right off the bat, Team SuperMegaSwagRocket going for the Jarvan and the Orianna bans.
Best name.
Which is quickly followed up from Jookz Gaming, who banned out the Zyra. So we're just waiting for another ban from Jookz now.
Yeah,
so they go for a Soraka ban.
Some of those are a little bit targeted. You don't really see a lot of Jarvan's banned at Orianna, although sort of a stable, not considered overpowered or underpowered mid lane. That's Gaming Zyra, also not considered to be a really OP champ, somebody that needs to be banned all the time. Soraka, however, I think that's a little bit more of a general one. That's something that we've been seeing a lot more of, and not where you'd think it. You know, not just as a support. She's been a viable mid lane lately.
Yeah, exactly. SuperMegaSwagRocket, they go for the Karma ban, so they must have been watching a couple of Jookz Gaming games earlier, who banned out the Kha'Zix, and then first pick on that Draven, taking it away, and then instantly, of course, what else are we gonna see but the Nocturne lock-in over for Jookz Gaming. We know how that went. The 12-0-2 Nocturne.
You don't ban out Nocturne.
It was scarier. So
they're gonna pick him again.
They went with the Nocturne Thresh, so definitely we know the Nocturne where it goes well. I think he was 16-0-2 in the first game that you were with there with Trick. And then the Thresh, obviously a very safe laner. And now SuperMegaSwagRocket, they're hovering Teemo Jax. They switched to Teemo for an Annie. I don't see them locking in the Annie. It's potential.
I don't know about the Teemo either.
They changed the Teemo to an Annie, and then they actually changed the Jax over to an Udyr, and now they keep. So the Udyr was locked in, and now they keep going between Annie and Teemo. I think they're probably going to go with the Annie though.
Yeah, and if it ends up being Udyr again, that's the exact same jungle matchup as we saw last time. But it's all coming down to who's going to do it better too. I mean, this is a totally different team.
The Udyr was locked in, and then also so was the Annie. So the main problem with support Annie or any Annie is you have no engage unless your flash is up. So that could prove to be a very bad factor, whereas over on Jookz Gaming, they always have the potential with any of Thresh's abilities, basically, aside from the Lantern, the Nocturne, and the Lucian isn't locked in. So you can even engage with the Lucian almost just by using the culling, taking down minions, getting someone about half HP, and then having the team going.
Too. This is looking to be a pretty scary team altogether. So I completely agree with you on the Lucian front, though.
The Jax was locked in. So the Jax potential for the Jax there. Who's he going to be up at?
This is such a scary late game comp for Jookz. I don't know how they're going to deal with this over on the SwagRockets. I mean, they have a pretty good comp too. They have a very solid kiting ADC in Draven. They have Udyr, who is, once again, kind of a scary jungler right now. So is Nocturne, but he's also somebody to be very, very afraid of early on in the game and even into the later ends of the game. Annie is a bit of an odd pickup for me. Unless you really want to hard engage every single fight, it strikes me as a little bit odd that they take her as most likely going to be the support. Possible she's in the mid lane, but she just has such a range limitation. Tryndamere could be a decent top pickup for them. And did they get the Lissandra, or are they just hovering it?
So they're still hovering it, only 2 seconds left. It looks like they're locking in the Jace Lysandra, so not going for the Tryndamere. I like the Jace pick though. We don't really see a lot of it, but of course the tier was buffed a little bit, so he may just be looking for that, where it was a long time ago, but no one really picked up Jace again. But when you actually complete the Mana Moon early, it stacks faster. So just rushing that gives you a bit of AD early on, and you stack it very quickly.
Well, we're seeing a little bit of season 2 and 3 revival too.
If you think about it right now, actually, they have a lot of movement speed. Lysandra, Udyr, Draven, of course he has his W on top of a Jace gate. There is a lot of movement speed in SwagRocket right now.
Maybe that's what they're counting on to hard engage, and hence why they have the Annie as well. Draven's Steroid is also going to be helpful in that. Zig's looking to be the last pickup for Jookz, and they have a pretty solid sieging composition to counteract, hopefully, the SwagRocket's more kite and poke oriented setup.
So I feel like this is where the Thresh pick really comes in. They now have the Ziggs. Ziggs is able to push towers incredibly well with his passive. You just stack as much magic as you can, as much ability power possible. If you really want it and you really want to become a split pusher and not someone who's just going to clear wave after wave, you go Lichbane, and it's happened before. You can do it. Then you also have Lucian, and then Thresh. You have a support who has long-range auto attacks, but he builds tank, and he can build a little bit of AD on top of his tank if he really wanted to. That gives you 3 people who are able to attack towers, compared to most teams who only sit on 1 person who can attack a tower, maybe 2, and one of them is like a jungler or an AP champion, like, say, the Annie. Yes, Ziggs is AP, but his passive turns him into that amazing tower pusher.
Well, don't forget Jax is a pretty solid pusher, too, if they decide to go all in on one.
Yeah, I love the team comp of Jookz Gaming right now. They have great initiation, long-range poke, they have getaways, they're able to use Nocturne Ultimate, can save them a ton of times, not even initiating, but they can use it to get away too, use that as a vision to block the enemy's vision. Or even, I know there are some teams who utilize a Nocturne Ultimate when they're taking a Baron. If they don't know if the enemy knows they're doing or not, they'll use a Nocturne Ultimate to take away vision, and then just to be able to get it securely and not have to worry about having a Smite steal without them noticing.
Yeah, man, Nocturne's a scary jungler right now. He's definitely not somebody to count out, and he's just has such an active early game when played correctly. Jookz has already proved that this tournament. See if they can do it again, and this time they have a comp that really works well with attempting to catch enemy champions out. All of the champions on SuperMegaSwagRocket are going to have to be careful, but especially Draven and Jace. Lissandra has a little too many escapes for me to really think she's in a lot of danger, but those are going to be 2 heavy targets for Jookz when the fights do break out. And, all right, I think your mic might be cutting out just a little bit. I can't hear you on my end.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
That fixes it. Okay.
Dude, it's better we do it now than later on, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just a little bit wobbly inside the plug, was all. But I'm interested to see how Udyr works against the Nocturne. We've seen this as the same matchup in almost every game so far this tournament, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And they've been the 2 favorite picks, but
everybody heard Trick was coming.
Udyr has not had an easy time. He's been beaten up, his team has gotten behind in the lanes. Blue Basket is going to have to, I feel like, make sure his lanes win. Let your lanes win, farm until you have the Feral Flare, and then go in. Let your team use their flashes defensively against the Nocturne Ultimate, and just worry about making sure that you can scale into the mid game like you should be, rather than trying to counter gank a Nocturne who can get halfway across the map by pressing R.
That's exactly the strategy that SwagRocket is going to have to adopt. And they have all the tools at their disposal. Jace, as an unorthodox pick, should still be able to beat Jax by virtue of his range. Mid lane is probably going to be an even farm fest for a little while, considering they both have a lot of high damage burst and don't want to get in each other's ways without a whole lot of jungle presence. The bot lanes are pretty evenly matched, although Annie is a lot squishier than Thresh. And if Nocturne does focus his efforts down there, Udyr might have to come down bot prematurely. But we'll end up seeing what Jookz does decide to do. They certainly have the harder patch composition and the better early game composition, and we'll see if they take advantage of that, or if they decide to instead let their opponents just ease into a mid game.
Yeah, Nocturne is, I'm going to guess, Omnibus is going to look to counter jungle Udyr, and you don't normally hear about that, but we know how he plays on Nocturne. He plays an incredible Nocturne, and then just on the top of the fact that this entire tournament, Udyr has had a very hard time against every Nocturne so far. I feel like Omnibus is just going to just make it even worse this game and punish him because he knows he can beat out the Udyr. Aside from that, though, I'm really interested to see how the Jace versus Jax lane goes.
Yeah, that one's going to be interesting. We don't see a lot of Jace lately, even though he has been somewhat picking up popularity as sort of a throwback to seasons past. Other champions have been making the same kind of comeback. Twisted Fate now back in the picture all the time. But Jace has remained one of those usual mid laners, occasional top laners that you just don't see all the time. And he certainly has the tools to beat Jax in lane, early game.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not running teleport, though.
Yeah, that is true. He's not. So while I do get stuck in loading screen because it takes me a little bit while to get in, I'd like to throw out Skin Wars Best Wars right now. And actually, both teams... No, sorry, only SwagRocket has 4 skins going with Gladiator Draven, Black Belt Udyr, Bloodstone Lysandra, and Debonair Jace. By far the best Jace skin, by the way.
Dude, it is the best Jace skin.
Whereas Jookz Gaming, they have Hired Gun Lucian, Jaximus, one of the many Jax skins.
I like that one,
and
especially
Pool Party Ziggs. So, interesting fact about Jaximus. It was actually designed for... it was someone who had a rare disease, and they had requested that Riot make a skin after them. What Riot did was they invented the Jaximus skin, and every time somebody purchases that skin, Riot donates $1 to the foundation to help research what that kid had as a disease.
Okay, that actually wasn't what I heard. I thought that they'd already made the skin, and that was his favorite skin, and that was otherwise than that was the same story.
No, it was actually, he requested for them to make a skin, and they came up with the Jaximus skin at that time.
Oh, alright. Now, that's still a pretty awesome story. That's actually how I ended up getting Jax in the first place. I told myself I would never buy champions with RP, but then they did that, and I'm like, that's a good cause. I'm going to get in with that, and I did. We're still in pause, by the way, so if you have managed to finish loading up into the game, we're at the point where we're still waiting for one more person to connect, and it looks like they just got back in, so the gameplay will resume, but unfortunately, as it happens, we lose Thresh right then. So we have another pause coming in.
So, quick pauses coming out right now. Definitely, it is bound to happen, you know, pauses happen, you can't really do much about it.
Quick, we get to talk about the items, at least everybody who's bought items.
We do. So, Annie, Spell Thief's Edge.
Yeah, that's totally go-to. If you're any kind of mage, poking mage bot lane support, you want to get a Spell Thief's. It is just too good on gold production. Morgana is the quintessential Spell Thief's champion, but Annie is still just as useful for it, especially if you start with your Q. Maybe not everyone's favorite move, because you know, you're not going to get your stun up really easily, but it's better than if you start E, because you won't get the stun till later on until level 2 anyways. And it looks like Thresh did get back into the game, so we will be reconnecting. All the other items are pretty standard. Doran's blades and shields. Surprisingly, Jax actually went for the shield and not the blade. But apart from that, everything is pretty standard.
Well, I think it's just Jax knows he'll be taking a lot of auto attacks, seeing as Jace has he has a fair amount of range when he's in his ranged form and not hammer form. So he could just be looking to try and block out some of that damage. You just see all the teams going very defensive for the start.
I think that's definitely the reason Jax has opted to pick that up, because he knows, hey, I can't really out-poke Jace in the early game especially, so he's going to have to be held up just a little bit. It was a good counter pick to him, and both teams are going to be looking to set up in very safe locations around the edges of their own jungle and lanes.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So, if Ziggs shuts down Lysandra early, do Jace and Lysandra trade lanes?
It's a good question. You got to look at it from the perspective of the SwagRockets. If they're winning top lane because Jace just absolutely makes Jax have a bad day, if that happens, they're not going to want to switch lanes, even if Lysandra starts losing mid. If they're in risk of losing tower at 5 minutes, then yes. If not, they're probably going to tell Lysandra to suck it up. But I think she should have a seriously good chance at least keeping the lane even for most of this game. Ziggs being a better poking champion, but Lysandra has a really high amount of burst if she gets in your face. And Ziggs might have to pop out of the lane if he does get bursted down quickly. There's a little more base health on her side too. Definitely has some more survivability, but I imagine seeing her building a fair amount of magic resist early on, and actually got a free farm to begin with.
She has a very unique kit, and that's why not many people play her, just because it is so unique. And not many champions have really any abilities that are quite like hers, especially her ultimate.
Well, she's definitely one of those champions that doesn't play like a lot of others, and that's one of the reasons she's so hard to predict. Jace is kind of up there in one of those same positions, and he's difficult to play against just because he's not commonly seen. Lysandra also isn't as commonly seen, actually. Oh, except on Howling Abyss, I suppose. That's where she's from, right?
Exactly.
Laura's OP.
I find she's actually really good to play on Twisted Tree Line, because she can get over every wall. Like, you can go from the Nexus to the jungle with using her E. So I find she's actually incredibly strong just because the mobility is so high.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of in and outs. The dashes are pretty crazy, and we haven't seen too many champions that have an amazing amount of gap closers rule the mid lane for a while since the Gragas nerf, or at least the rework, you might call it. And a lot more of these kiting and poking champions. You get your Ziggs, your Nidalees, sometimes Syndras even. The lanes are going to start up pretty standard here.
Yeah, all the lanes pretty much even, except for that top lane. Jay's getting a bit ahead in farm over Jax, but honestly, that's kind of expected. It is expected. And same with the Draven, I would say, just because he's pushing with the... He had double spinning axes.
Yeah, but he's got to be careful.
Actually, Thresh landing on the Annie. They dealt a little bit of damage, but it's not enough that it won't regen. But it's not going to. Actually, if Lucian keeps landing those Qs onto her, it is going to start to hurt.
Yeah, that's what they got to be careful about, is hard engaging into a Thresh. It's always a dangerous proposition, especially as a short-range champion as Annie is. And ooh, Thresh is just tossing out those hooks every chance he gets, almost catches Tame Turtle on the side of it, but he's far too mobile to be caught by those. Doing a good job building up his adoration stacks.
Yeah, Thresh trying to throw out the flame. Draven, he's putting down the damage, really showing... Even with the passive changes onto Draven now, he just gets ahead for killing you now. He doesn't just kill you easily. Now he just gets an even bigger lead because he killed you.
Oh, but wow, he is getting right in the face of Thresh and Lucian, not even caring that he's taking tower aggro, and looks like Nocturne is heading his way towards the top lane to help a buddy out. Jax is really hurting up there, and I can see why.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of poke, and he's going in, but he's not going to be able to get that stun now. Nocturne coming in with the fear. Jax jumping back on, but they're going to use that gate from Jace to get away. How to Survive knows what he's talking about, and he is indeed the guide to surviving. And now in the bot lane, actually, Annie using her stun to try and stun up Lucian, but Tame Turtle just isn't in the area quick enough, but he does get a little bit damaged down on the Thresh in that engage. Definitely,
yeah, it's really hard to gank onto a Jace in the top lane.
They're trying their best to make action happen, but Nocturne is really going to have to watch what he does.
It's going to be a slow first blood game. There's just far too much speed buffs on the entirety of SuperMegaSwagRocket.
Actually, top...
Oh, okay, I spoke too soon.
Top, the Ignite is going down. Oh, the flash out of Jace goes in, gets the Q off. He used the gate to accelerate himself, flashed after he got the acceleration, ran past a minion, and then got the Q onto Jace for the first blood. So, yes, you did talk just a little bit too soon. Jax thought he could deal the damage,
but... He proved me completely wrong. He must have heard me.
The stun just didn't last long enough what he was trying. The counter-strike stun did not last the amount of time he was expecting, and it gave Jace the opportunity to turn it around.
He was going back in. He actually face-checked it right as Jace finished his recall animation. And 1 second earlier, he might have actually been able to equalize the score there, but no such luck for Jax in the top lane. Inheritor gives the first blood. And in the mid lane now.
Yeah, Nocturne again, landing that fear. Nocturne still, even in this game, not level 6, but still pulling off all the ganks. There comes the spell shield, but it's not going to do anything. And now they're still chasing Udyrs around the corner, though. Even in the bot lane, Lucian getting very low.
You could say
it looks like
Jookz.
Oh, you could say, but we're not going to, and we're going to pretend like you didn't, okay?
All right, if it makes you feel better, well, we can pretend I didn't say it. But that was a really, really close one. It could have easily been a kill, another kill for Jookz Gaming. And actually, the bot lane is looking pretty close to another death for them, or a death for them.
Yeah, Strange Love is getting really low, and Belair is just not able to do much. But if they can land a hook onto Tame Turtle, they can all-in him and grab the kill, which would definitely be beneficial. Cutting out his stacks by half, which is probably the most important. Udyr got so low, though.
From the it's not Super Mega Death Rocket, it's Mega Inferno Bomb. I swear to God, the same writer wrote those names.
You know what? I wouldn't be that surprised. Oh, and actually, Lucian going in. He goes for the E, but then the anti-stun misses everyone.
Man,
it's back up yet again. Tame Turtle is still alive. As you said, there's Nocturne. He's ulting for the top lane now, too. Action going everywhere as Jace using the hammer to get away. Jax jumping in, but Counter-Strike isn't up for that. And Tame Turtle
roam up to the top.
Tame Turtle used his heal to stay alive just barely, and now with the anti-stun, they are unable to do anything with only Belair in the bot lane. He just has to sit around and watch his tower get down. Actually, they're going to look for the tower dive. The stun goes down, and actually, the flash flay under the tower picks it up. Tame Turtle getting the kill, cashing in the stacks, and Annie was tanking tower. And now, Lysandra in the top lane, ults the Jax, gets the last Ignite tick off for the kill. So the no teleport doesn't matter if you're that far away, if you're that far ahead.
Nice couple of pickups for the SwagRockets that just did a fantastic job, especially in that bot lane. I cannot believe they tanked out the tower and got Thresh even exhausted, and nobody died. Had to burn a couple flashes to do it, but that was incredibly impressive presence of mind to make that happen.
So Tame Turtle was incredibly low, and he almost died if Thresh had one more auto attack in. But
he did something really smart. He did something really smart. He stopped auto attacking when he got exhausted. Yeah. And then he didn't allow the tower to aggro him by not attacking Thresh. And therefore, he survived just in time for Annie to get out of the range after she picked up the kill. Actually, he picked up the kill, so he did auto once, but it only after Annie had gotten the auto attack off.
Yeah, so he actually played that incredibly well to make sure he didn't take aggro and didn't die. So these teams really showing why they made it to the finals, of course, especially against a team like Jookz Gaming.
But I'm so impressed with SwagRocket. Look,
Silent getting pretty caught out, actually, but the Udyr, the flash over the wall right there definitely saved his life. He didn't get anything out of blue team, but he burned his own flash for the safety of it. But like we were saying, both teams are going to be using their summoner spells pretty defensively this game.
There's a hammer and a lamppost in the top lane. They're really going at each other now.
Hammer and a lamppost, and there's still two kills.
The battle of the household tools. Well,
the gank on the bot lane actually right there again. The fear going down. Draven does die. Tabor's coming down. They're going to chase down the Annie. It should be a pretty easy pickup. No, the flash. Here comes Udyr. They're looking for more kills. Damage going down. Omnibus going to be picked up actually by Annie, and now the flash has to come out of Strange Love. Lysandra's in the area now too. Where's the ultimate? It is up. She's going to give the kill over to Blue Basket though. Now
what a turnaround.
Thresh using the box to get away. Very well used ability of the slow.
That looked really, really bad for the SwagRockets to begin with, and then they turned it around thanks to the jungle gank, counter gank, and the double roam out of Brandon and Blue Basket. Now they're going to pick up Dragon on this one. It was really good, but it could have easily gone the other way had they not gotten there in time to get Sehun saved, or had she not had a stun.
Jookz Gaming picked a really bad time to go all in. They knew Lysandra wasn't in the mid lane. They knew that Udyr was just went mid and then roamed his way down towards the bottom half of the map. They could have picked a better timing. I feel like it was a little bit team miscommunication just because they weren't told of the Lysandra not being in lane.
Well, you've got to be a little frustrated if you're Jookz right now. You're just getting the worst end of every trade despite the fact that you're going so close every time. They just cannot pick up kills. Nocturne 1-1 this game. So much lower than he has been in previous games, and when you're used to that level of success, you're frustrated.
Actually, Counter-Strike and the Counter-Strike going down. He's gonna. There's the Ignite. Jax flashed away though, but now Nocturne is in the area. Jace tried flashing, but he had that Nocturne Q following him around. Now Nocturne still chasing. There's the Jax, the ultimate coming out from
blood in the water now.
Though. He is looking for it. Mega Inferno Bomb coming down. Will it pick up the kill? It's so close, and then the fear going down.
Just one more.
One auto. He does pick it up, but now Udyr's around the corner. He's so low too. Another kill. Possibly. No, Omnibus getting so low. He goes down to the red buff, actually. Wow, Blue Basket the best
Oh,
here,
wow.
I must say, but now Silent
roams.
He does roam. He's picking up where Lysandra left off. Lysandra went bot lane. Zig says, alright, I'm fine with that. I'm going to go top lane and take your red buff from your jungler. So, good trade around. I feel like Jookz Gaming came out on top of that.
They did. It was really close, though.
Actually, teleport into the bot lane.
Here's Jax, though.
There's a teleport. They do counter-strike right onto Annie. She gets blown up instantly. Tibbers does almost absolutely nothing. The stun wasn't even up, I don't think. She just used it to use it. So, Jax making use of the teleport, showing Jace why he took it, and now Hook misses. Now Balera getting so low. Tame Turtle trying to go for the 2v1. Can he get it? The flash is coming out of everyone.
Love.
He picks up one. He's going for the second. Is he going to get the double kill onto Tame Turtle? 1v2. So Tame really showing where that passive gold kicks in and shows his dominance in lane with that double Doran's blade.
And that really helped him out. And this game has just picked up in action so crazily since then. Here's Jax coming back up into the top to contest against Jace once again. Can you believe there hasn't been a tower taken yet?
Yeah, so it's just been lanes coming back to lane, fighting, going back, buying items, coming back, fighting some more, going back, buying items. And they're just repeating that right now, but I feel like by the 16-minute mark, we'll see a dragon dance.
I certainly hope so. This has been one of the more action-packed games with no real objective results going, except for that one dragon that did get picked up earlier on off of a little bit of a misguided all-in attempt by Jookz Gaming. Oh wow, Brandon in the mid lane doing a lot of damage to Omnibus.
Omnibus really trying to clear his jungle and get that feral flare up, and now in top lane, Inheritor is getting so low still. He's under half HP with less than half his mana, and he's still just trying to make that lane work out for him. It's not going so well, though.
Yep.
Actually, Jason looking to go all in.
Finding him.
There's the hammer. He's going. No, the counter-strike does land. Tower, no aggro.
More auto.
Inheritor dies to the last auto. Omnibus, his ultimate is not up. He cannot go all in right now for that kill. He does land at the Duskbringer,
How to survive staying a little too far forward for the amount of health he has right now. Tempting fate.
He is trying. The ultimate is up in just a second. There it goes. He's bringing it down with the fear. The last auto picking up a kill. Takes back the red buff yet again. And now the first tower of the game in bot goes over to Tame Turtle, Brandon, and Annie, who are sitting in the area. And they're looking to invade another blue buff. This will be the second they've taken away from Nocturne.
Yeah, but here comes Ziggs around the side to say something about that. And he's actually going to realize that it's being taken. They're going to try to contest a Strange Libella on the side. Can they do it? Nope.
No, Brandon 137 picks it up. Of course, Dragon, up in a minute and 30. Who do you think would have the advantage in that?
Well, I got to give it over to the SwagRockets. They're still up in this for the most part, and they're really running this bot lane and this bottom side of the map. Nocturne's been pulled up into the top to help Jax deal with this aggressive Jace that's pretty much all but abandoned the lane now that he's backed. But, well, here we go in the middle.
Oh, Counter-Strike going in. Brandon getting struck up, and now actually the death sentence does miss. Blue buff all in. The flash Tibbers hitting everyone right there. That was an amazing thing. The Lantern getting them out though. No, the flash from Draven. Tame Turtle looking to get some kills. Valera going so low. Double kill over for Annie though.
This is a team that is not afraid to dive hard.
Oh, there's actually the ultimate again. Inheritor is so low. He goes down only to be giving the shutdown gold over to Omnibus from Tame Turtle. Now, Blue Basket, he's pretty low. He has double buff bow.
And then the tower up.
Mid tower does go down. The dragon is up in 25 seconds. Are either team going to be looking for it, or are they just going to look for more skirmishes?
Even without Draven, even without Tame Turtle, I think that the SwagRocket should have no trouble trying to lock this up. They have the map presence. They have lanes pushing in their favor. They have 2 towers down. And they have wards, which Jookz does not have. So as long as they get there right in time, they should have the timer on it since they took it last time. There's no reason that they can't take this if they have the presence to, but they're not doing it just yet. Jace going up to the top to clear away that tower, and this is the time to do it. They're looking for it.
Yeah, they're doing a great job at pushing the lanes right now.
Controlling the farm, really.
SwagRocket definitely ahead in this game, already an 8,000 gold lead. And this is against a team that had a very decisive win in their first round.
Actually, it looks like Udyr's going to just solo the dragon right now, and Thresh, well, he's got to know what's happening, but he's not going far forward enough. Going to give up that dragon without a fight. They didn't really need anybody but Udyr, and that's why Feral Flare is broken.
That's why Feral Flare is broken. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Not really. I'm pretty sure everyone... Oh, Silent getting very close. Actually, the ultimate under the tower from Brandon coming out.
There's a
really
Lysandra burst.
Tame
Wow.
Turtle and Brandon showing the burst potential of their champions. Brandon picking up a kill, keeping that blue buff, and showing why he is indeed winning that lane against the Ziggs 2-0-1, and they're going to take another tower for that.
Well, at the beginning of this game, we said that Jookz was going to have a better catch composition, but that just simply has not been the case this game. People get just even slightly out of position on Jookz, and it's been completely capitalized on it. And as a result, this is what happens. You have a 10k gold lead, and 2 dragons up, 4 towers to none, 14 kills to 6. Jookz Gaming has really got to find something to get back into this game, and fast.
You see, the problem with the catch composition, actually, Omnibus getting really low just from 3 auto attacks from Jace. The Q misses Lantern away, though.
There. Oh, look at Jax trying to sneakily go teleport, and he's going to get out of there. Oh, they almost caught him.
Very close right there. Jax definitely going pretty ham in some situations here that he maybe shouldn't be in.
Omnibus.
Whoa, Omnibus getting so low, but actually the fear
saved
saves
him
the
from
day.
dying. Oh.
Who needs to be saved by the bell when you can be saved by the fear? Getting away with just a little bit of HP
I thought
right
I had
there.
a bad pun for that, but you proved me wrong. You
Oh, it's okay.
One.
It's okay.
Right, looking
it
for
happens.
Belair on the outside. Oh, I know why he's called Belair now. Because he's the Thresh Prince.
Oh.
Oh. I can do bad 80s sitcoms too.
It's okay,
90s,
and actually,
they're good.
Top
That's actually
lane
a really good one.
Inheritor getting solo. Draven ultimate, sorry. Very close to killing him, but now Omnibus coming in, looking to deal some damage now too, but he gets solo. Look at the autos, he flashes away now.
Oh,
and he goes
gonna
in,
get him.
ult for the Andy to get the kill. He's trying to get away.
Oh, man.
Draven too strong. He picks up the kill. Another kill under Draven. 5, 2, and 3. Very incredibly strong Draven. Able to take down towers like a god.
Yeah, Omnibus is doing everything he can to pick up kills for his team and get them back into this, but there's just no objective control at all. And now they've been pushed back to their inhibitor turrets in every lane.
Definitely not the situation that Jookz Gaming is used to. It's not what they want to be in, and it's not what they're used to. All their other games have been very decisive wins, and it looks like they're either just having a bad game, or it's either they're just having a bad game right now, or they found a team who have really shown them that, hey, you're not the best in the tournament today.
There's always a bigger fish, Kingslayer, and it looks like Jookz might have found it this time. This composition just has really been working, but more than that, for SuperMegaSwagRocket, they really are just roaming together, playing together. They outpicked in the early game, I'd say. Jack's pickup was definitely countered by Jace, and that forced Nocturne to go top earlier when he could have been farming. That allowed, in turn, the chain reaction of Blue Basket able to AFK farm for a while, like Trick is always was talking about. Just that's what you want to do as Udyr. You want to build up your flare, and then he becomes extremely relevant. And we've seen the result of that. Sandra also holding off Ziggs in the mid lane. Draven just out farming and out killing Lucian and Thresh. And Annie's pretty much sacked most of those kills that they've needed to. Same turtle.
Yeah, actually, Jack's getting kicked out yet again. The counter-strike only stuns up Annie. He's going to go down, and
now in the
still
jungle.
Over there. Tame Turtle getting solo. He does go down after picking up Ziggs, though.
He almost got Belair.
It was very close. Very incredibly close right there. And a big thing to notice, actually, item-wise, is that Brandon picked up a Zanya's Hourglass, which means he plans on using his ultimate very offensively every time.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that all the time either, Lysandra. It's a very potent ultimate, especially in tight corners that they're going to be looking to siege soon. Brandon already trying to preempt that just a little bit by trying to catch somebody. And yeah, you can see how confident they are. They're just laughing in the mid lane. And they're actually doing Baron right now, so this entire thing is a distraction, and it's working.
Yeah, there's the Baron actually. Ultimate going down. Brandon getting away easily with that claw, though, and flashes. There's a flash hook. There's the Zanya's. His ultimate is still up. He does use it. A defensive ultimate. He just lasts forever. Jace picking up a kill now. Lysandra picking up one onto Jax. They're actually let Syndra Eing back into the fight yet again. Juukz picking up a second kill. Flash coming out of Annie. The flash out of Annie also didn't catch Silent D. He actually flashed at the same time.
But Brandon taunting perfectly. That was the most masterfully baited thing that I've seen in a while. And Brandon just... You remember that scene that everybody remembers in Star Wars where it's a trap? That's the definition. If you were to look it up in a dictionary. That was the trap he was talking about.
That is basically what happened. I mean, Brendan just kind of sat in the mid lane. He sat there laughing. He had everyone collapse on him. Omnibus used his ultimate. And they knew he got
Baron, too. They saw the little purple thing he's going around him. And then they were like, oh, we can still kill him. And then he's like, nope, Zonia's.
And then his team collapsed. That's what's really important.
Now he's soloing.
So quickly, Belair can't even last the fear going down. How to survive, though. He gets away. He does indeed know how to survive at this point.
Right
but
now.
Look at that. Look at the damage. Ziggs trying to throw down the damage. And it's actually Strange Love that picks it up. But now Annie is at the point where Annie has a needlessly large rod and Sorcerer Shoes.
Is it ever truly that needlessly large? I think it might be the right size sometimes.
Not for Annie. I think she's
Annie's like
a little bit too small for it.
Well, Annie might need to need some help picking it up, but
Brandon goes back and bursts it down.
Lissandra
onto Strange Glove right there. Wow, the burst coming in. Brandon cannot use the Zhonya's. It is down. His ultimate is down. Nothing he can do about that. Thresh picking up a kill there, though.
A bit careless right now.
Great play by Brandon.
Yeah, he did get the kill out of it, but it's just
he took out their 80 carries
because they don't really care.
There's a Nocturne ultimate.
They're so confident, and here they go again.
Udyr just took the dragon. There's a Mega Inferno Bomb coming in. It does take down Draven. Yes, it does. Ziggs is the one that picks that up. Now Annie on the run. Her stun is up. She stuns up two of them. Thresh is not stunned during this. He goes for the hook. Doesn't land though.
Well, they did pick up 3 kills in the overall of that engage after losing a lot of people. Jookz, they're getting toyed with at this point, and I think they realize it. But they're trying to make the best. If they can hold out at their base for a while, they should be able to mount some kind of comeback. But the gold lead is definitely going far in the direction of SuperMegaSwagRocket, and that's not just Adoration stacks. That's the Baron buff. That's the Dragon control. They've got all 3 of them this game, and then of course heavy kill score differential.
I feel like a big thing right now is Omnibus. He's not adjusting to the situation. He's much farther behind than he has been any other game, and he's still trying to build full damage, trying to go for that Trinity Force.
Well, he doesn't even have his Feral Flare yet. He's not been able to farm his own jungle for fear of just getting collapsed on it, and he's had to be in the middle of the fights all the time, so it just hasn't worked out for him build-wise, and he's halfway through a whole bunch of items. No Trinity Force finished up yet. The Pork hasn't been finished yet. You know, it's frustrating when you're normally used to carrying this hard, and he's had a lot of trouble. Jax hasn't really come into the situation he needs to be in yet. He hasn't been able to pick up a kill at all. And you can't hypercarry if you can't get kills, and here comes Blue Basket around the side.
Omnibus getting cut out a little bit by Blue Basket, but actually he had his whole team there. Can Blue Basket kite? He is the Udyr, of course he can do whatever he wants, but it does not look like he can survive. Yes, he can. No, he can't. Flash coming up from Jax. No one's going to pick it up. Mega Inferno Bomb, though,
coming they burned a lot of ultimates to get that, and in the confusion,
they burned 2 flashes.
You've got SuperMegaSwagRocket pushing on the front door right now.
And Brandon
everything
is
they do is a
pushing
distraction.
in the mid lane.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not going well for Jookz Gaming, and now Brandon getting really aggressive. They Flay still missing.
The objective control is just so much better right now for the SwagRockets. They're baiting every one of these engages. They're saying, hey, here, come chase me 5-on-1. That's totally okay, because we'll take a couple of inhibitors for it. And that's exactly what they did, even without the Baron buff anymore. And it's just, they're just running the tables all through the lane right now.
SwagRockets, they've pushed every lane that they could. All that's left is top lane.
Well, if you've been listening to Seihin this entire time, you gotta call them the Super Mega BM Rockets.
You do, and actually there's Nocturne but going on to Tame Turtles. No one else is there, but there's the Annie coming in, gets the stun. Draven goes in, picks up that kill. Over on the side, though, the Thresh Flay and Jax is trying to do everything that they can. The CC is real. Ziggs picking up the kill, though. There's a Zhonya's Hourglass from Brandon. And actually, the damage coming out from Brandon and Annie kill Thresh. Draven also picking up Lucian on the side. Ziggs is the only one left. Look at the damage though. Mega Inferno Bomb coming in. Picks up Tame Turtle actually, so there is one that goes down. Mid lane
in the
inhib.
end,
Mid
3 for 2
lane
trade.
inhib is back up. It was still a negative trade even after all of that chasing.
Yeah, and they didn't even have Udyr there for a chunk of it. He's just kind of continuing to
That
farm
was
up
basically
his
a 4v5.
Feral Flare. Yeah, and it's working. Not only that, considering they have one inhibitor down, the other one's at half health, and they can keep pushing on it if they want. Actually,
And Timbers was down, and actually Timbers does miss. Whoa, Jack's trying to go, and will he be able to pick up the kill? AoE from Timbers is doing the damage, but it's not enough. Another thing to take into account from during that last fight, Timbers was down that entire fight. It just came back up.
I think Timbers actually did more damage to Inheritor than Annie did. Oh, Blue Basket, he actually could have gone for Jax, but he turned around on that one.
So Blue Basket definitely showing that he's not afraid of the team anymore.
No,
Yes,
he's not at all.
Yes, he's only 3-2-5, but his team is so far ahead in objectives, and he has farmed so much, 240 CS on him. He doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, and the builds are just telling the huge story of it. There's almost nobody left on the SwagRockets that even have an empty item slot. And they're getting so close to building all the way up. Annie's actually got a Deathfire Grasp. That's just so much burst damage, and they're making it known every one of these fights. Here they go to turn on around for another 3v5.
Yeah,
now it's going to be a 4.
Tame Turtle really trying to get as aggressive as he can, pushing everyone back. He knew the hook was down. Belair already missed that. Looks like Baron is up in 5 seconds, so they are going to take that just to...
They're not going to have any contest either.
Go
There's
for
no
this.
way that Jookz can leave their base right now with Super Minions still knocking on the bottom lane.
They know they're doing it, but they don't have any vision, so they can't even go for like a Nocturne ult
And
smite.
they can't take fights outside the tower either. And look at that clear time. It's crazy how fast they were able to do that. And
That
the
was
SwagRockets
a good
just have no
6
trouble.
seconds. Good 6 seconds for them to take down that Baron.
6 seconds. Maybe 5.5. It was pretty crazy.
21,000 gold lead on
A
the
lot of our games
side
today.
on the side of SwagRocket. That's a very bad position to be in. This
A lot
will
of our games today
definitely.
have been snowbally, but this is pretty nuts.
I feel like this is going to be the final push. SwagRocket's looking to end it.
It's a 20,000 gold difference. This is
Oh,
pretty
actually, the
crazy
color
right now.
coming
The
out.
Tame Turtle.
Turtle getting really low. Ultimate from Nocturne going down. He gets picked up. Now Brandon getting very low. Uses that claw to get over the wall, though. Like I was talking about, that range is just ridiculous. He's still coming around, though. Jace is going in. Strange Love picked up by Udyr. That damage is just surreal right now. Now they're all chasing. Belair gets pretty low now. And now Omnibus 3v1, 4v1, no 3. There's only 3 members there. Jace was still on the other side, and he gets picked up. Looks like Jax is the next one. No, the death sentence does land on how to
Definitely gonna
survive.
have to give up that inhibitor. Only 3
This
members
looks
alive.
like it could be game now. Blue Basket
This
taking
might
the
be
turret
it.
like there's nothing about it.
I think you might be right on this one, Kingslayer. It's going to be just about the end of this game unless they can fend off this final push. Can they do it?
Actually, everything still, no cooldowns are up for anyone. The stun for Annie is up, but the damage is
almost goes down the
almost
tower.
enough. Another inhibitor is taken now, and now Udyr, Blue Basket, getting so low, but he is Udyr. He just runs away.
No more
That Nexus
towers
tower is down.
left.
There's only the Nexus. Brandon is trying to auto-attack, but he's only Lysandra using the Jookz. Actually, he finds Nocturne on the other side. Nocturne, will he be able to deal all the damage that he can? No, not yet. Yes,
Wow, they
he can.
turned it off for now.
Lucian picking up the double kill, but then Jack still going down in that 1v1 to Jace. Of course, huge advantage over in that. But now Tame Turtle is back in the picture. There's the double kill going over for How to Survive. Nocturne trying to take down Tame Turtle. But no, Strange Love picks it up. Still, though, almost got both of them. They're both one auto attack from that Draven with the spinning axes. One auto attack, and they both would have died right there. Definitely a big thing to take into account.
Yeah,
Annie
they've
is
been
now
managing
the
to fend
only
these
one
off.
left.
Been managing to defend these attacks off really, really well. But they're still losing inhibitors and towers every single trade. There's no way they can do this when there's only the Nexus left standing.
And the gold lead has just gotten bigger. It's now 21,500. It's going up every time because they're still behind in kills every time. 30 to 20 in kills, and he's picking up your blue buff. That has probably been there for a good 10 minutes now because Jookz Gaming have been stuck in their base.
Yeah, this will buy them a little bit of time to clear waves out and hopefully gather their defenses up. I think if they dive the backline like they've been able to do with Omnibus and Inheritor, they might be able to pick up Draven before he causes a lot of damage, and maybe take down Brandon before he can pop his Zhonya's or his ultimate. They just can't clump up and get caught like that. They have to be able to collapse, which is kind of difficult to do both of those at the same time. And they gave up another dragon, no way to contest it right now.
There's not really much that I can't even, like, think of a way for Jookz Gaming to come back. Of course,
I'm gonna give it to Belair, though. He's dodging those Draven Axe ultimates pretty well. That was the second time he's done that. The first time he almost died, almost at Fountain.
Looks like this is going to be the final push for SwagRocket.
This is gonna be it.
They're looking for it. Brandon is in the area. There's actually Inheritor. He's going in. Jack's ultimate going down onto Draven, but too much damage. They have Draven and
Inheritor actually makes it out. Oh, but they're not going to save the Nexus. It's too low.
No, it's too low. It does go down. GG's come out. Brandon saving his life with the Zhonya's at the last second right there. Very decisive victory to win the tournament coming out from SwagRocket. I'm glad they made it this far.
It was pretty incredible how fast that game spiraled out of control. But kudos to Jookz for holding out as long as they were able to. I mean, they really pushed off a lot of what could have been game-ending mid lane shoves and just were able to fend it back time and time again. But just when you have nothing left to give, your inhibitor's there.
I feel like it was
all you got left.
I feel like it was important for SwagRocket that made it this far. We saw a team who had been doing very well, of course. Jookz, they had amazing. Omnibus, his Nocturne was on point. 1603, I think is what it was, or 1602. And then you have a team come in. You think, okay, we're going to play the favorite game right now. We'll say Jookz has the game. That's what we'll call it at first. That's what we assumed. It was a good assumption. They were playing so well the entire tournament. But then SwagRocket, they come in. The Udyr did not get shut down by Nocturne that game. He had time to farm. He was allowed to free farm. Jax didn't get big because he was counterpicked by the Jace, who could beat him up as much as he wanted. Ziggs was out-roamed by Brandon. Lysandra was doing everything he could. And then the Annie Draven lane, it wasn't an ADC support lane anymore. It became a kill lane is what they turned it into.
Yeah, once Annie hit 6, it was pretty crazy. She did sacrifice on a lot of those counter gank attempts that happened with Nocturne, but apart from that, there really wasn't anything that the SwagRockets gave up in the early game, and they just managed to push down all the towers, and then push down another row of towers, take a dragon, just keep on doing it, and they just continually beat back Jookz, and just picked up the game purely on attrition.
Yeah, so we're just waiting for teams to get in for the interview, I believe. But definitely, I must say, it was a good tournament. I was incredibly glad to have Trick2G come by and decide to cast a couple games with us.
Yeah, big ups to him for coming out and doing that. It was really awesome. We had quite a lot of fun, and we definitely hope to work with him again in the future.
Yeah, so guys, we do have them here. So, hey guys, can you hear us?
Yes, we do.
All right, welcome guys. First, I'd like to say congratulations to your team for winning.
This is
First,
Tame Turtle and Blue Basket, right?
So so we do have Blue Basket and Tame Turtle with us. First, really quick question for you, Turtle.
Okay.
Did you think your lane was going to end that well?
Honestly, we kind of knew it would go well because we looked at that guy's stats and what he played, and like he was like purely like, I mean, most of his games were on Draven. And we just thought, since we had first pick, that if we took the Draven away from him, either banned it or first picked it, that, I don't know, he would go on to a weaker AD carry. And
were you comfortable on Draven, or was it kind of I think I can do good?
Yeah, Draven, I unlike the last few tournaments where I only had Ezreal and Vayne, I actually have a third AD carry now. In Draven, yeah.
Well, it worked out for
champion
you guys
pool is always important.
Yeah, can't ban this guy out.
Instead of 2, I now have 3. They have to use 3 bans now.
Yeah, and if they use all 3 of them on Turtle, I get to play Kha'Zix.
There you go. You didn't seem too shy on Udyr, though. That was a pretty fantastic early counter ganking, and you still managed to get your Feral Flare really early on, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what ended up happening was the Nocturne, he kept trying to gank top lane, but he was sitting on a ward the whole time, and he ran through that bush probably 5 times just wasting time. And I was up on him by like 30 CS at like the 8-minute mark. And I think even at the end of the game, he hadn't had full Pharaoh Flame, and mine was at like 50 stacks or something.
Yeah, you guys kept him back in his base. He wasn't able to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were throwing while Basket was farming.
Did you guys? How can I phrase this? Were you intimidated at all by noticing his last game where Omnibus went 16-0-3 in the first round?
I don't think they were intimidated.
No.
We don't really get intimidated. We hope to give the opposite impression to others.
Certainly pulled off a scary performance. Jace in the top lane was a really, really good pick against the Jax. Have you guys played that the kind of comp you did and those same kind of picks you did before?
We haven't played since the last tournament together.
Really?
But, yeah,
we don't really practice. We just come together every weekend.
All we do is win, man. What are you talking about, practice?
I mean, we got a couple, like, in the first 3 rounds. Like, I know Brandon was playing Lissandra all day, and we had Jace in the last 2.
Brandon played Lissandra every single game today as a support mid laner.
Yeah, they had a really hard time.
It went pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just gets us fed. I mean, me and Basket are kind of the carries on the team, while top does its own thing. We have 2 supports.
And once you get to the late game, you have two AP carries.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so you guys kind of run like a CLG kind of comp where you go for like a more supporty mid laner, protect your AD carry, and then your jungler just gets to the point where he doesn't die anyways.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that the Jace should be an id meta champion to counter when the Jax is picked instead of going for the Rise?
To be honest, Jace has always been a good champion, but as a damage top laner against these, the current in meta tank top laners, you're kind of left where you have to, like, you're restricted in your jungle pick because you have to pick your tank in the jungle. So Jace he's a good pick, but he just doesn't fit the meta well.
Is that when the Udyr pick becomes viable?
Honestly, we didn't really strategize. We just played things that sounded good.
That's a really great strategy. That's what I try to do in solo queue, but you guys are quite in another universe there. Well done, and GG. Congrats on winning the World Tourneys tournament today, guys. How's it feel?
It feels pretty good, man. That's 3 in a row. Let's try to make it. Let's try to make it 4 on Sunday.
You guys will need to get jerseys with little stars on the lapel now.
Oh no! We were thinking of getting a rocket and then like our logo. It's like a rocket with a snapback on it.
A rocket with the snapback. Well, guys, you know what to submit when you actually go for the season. We'll make sure that you guys have a special logo just like that. But
we can't do logos for everybody, I think.
We can. I believe if people submit them, we can do it. It would be a lot easier rather than us having to make them. But guys, that's all we have for tonight. GG, well played to your entire team. Remember to congratulate them. You guys will be getting your rewards soon enough. But that's all we have for tonight, guys. The gold tournament is over. It was a great tournament. Lots of Udyrs, lots of Nocturnes, countless amount of kills, and a lot of deaths that go along with it. But I'm Kingslayer35.
Just as many kills as there were deaths, right?
Sorry. Who would have thought?
I'm Pyrotechnics. Thanks for joining us, guys.